there, Jackson back with you at Song Mentor. And if you've been a relaxed subscriber or an R&R subscriber for the past 2 years, it's with mixed feelings that I say this is our last relaxed selection. And I've saved an absolutely amazing song for that. Paul McCartney and the Beatles' Let It Be. Let It Be has some references to Mother Mary, which was originally misunderstood to be the Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus. It was actually Paul's mother, Mary, who passed away when he was 14. During the recording of the White Album, and most Beatles fans know that there was, the Beatles weren't getting along. Yoko Ono was in the mix then. There were some problems. They were doing things separately rather than together as a group. And during that stretch, Paul had a dream in which his mother visited him and told him to let it go, not worry, just let it be. He's always been very thankful for that dream, obviously. This is the #3 Beatles song of all time, according to most polls, just behind Strawberry Fields and A Day in the Life. But it's #1 for many. Here's the Beatles, Paul McCartney. Let It Be. All right, well, Let It Be is one of those gorgeous songs that I also believe converts very nicely from keyboard and piano to acoustic guitar. And one of the reasons is the key it's written in, because a lot of the little runs and that you hear on the keyboard are duplicatable on guitar. It's written in the key of C, so that sort of thing. The other key that works very, very nicely, and this is the key we're going to use, and I'll explain why in just a moment, is the key of G, so you get the same ability to play okay, so all those runs work with the key of G as well. The beauty of the key of G is the singing end of things. Key of C, Paul McCartney has quite a bit of range to his voice, and always has. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. It's way up there. I mean, and especially let it be, especially that note. It's going to be way up there. When you take it down to G, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Now for me, that's much more comfortable to sing. And the beauty of the key of G is, here's what you can do. Take one of these little things, you know well by now, called a capo, and find your sweet spot. You're going to play it in the key of G, you're going to chord it in the key of G, you're going to play all the chords related to the key of G, but you're going to capo it, and I have sort of pre-done this, and all I'm going to do is just move it up one fret, put the capo on fret 1, and now it becomes this. It's just a little bit higher and works well for my voice. Keep in mind, you can take this and put it anywhere. If you put it on the 5th fret, you're back to the key of C. So you may as well just leave your guitar in open tuning. But 1st fret for me works well. It's here. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. So that's where I'm going to use, put the capo for this lesson. For me, what I'm going to do right now is retune after I've applied the capo, just to make sure that I'm still in pitch, because guitars tend to do that, go out a bit when you apply a capo. And I'll be right back, and we'll get started. All right, mission accomplished. Now, Let It Be is a 4-chord song, and in the key of G, I'm going to show you those chords. Of course, we've stepped it up a half step here, but the chord names will remain G, etc. So you need an open G chord. You need an open C chord. You need an open D chord. And you need an E minor chord. And Those are the 4 chords you need. I'm going to show you this right now. For the C chord, I want you to know that these are the connecting notes when we run chords together. So if we take that C chord and just go from the C note, what would be the C note? It's a C sharp at the moment. We just go from 4th fret to 3rd fret to open. Or from 4 to 3 to 1, because the capo's on 1. And then the G chord goes from 4th, fret 4 to fret 2 to open. So those are connecting notes that we're going to need to know. Okay, so again, the 4 chords you need: open G, open C, open D, and of course the beautiful E minor. There's the intro, nice and simple, and we're traveling here from a G chord. You can see the strumming is very simple as well. There's a little connector there, so we're going from G to open D to E minor, and those are the 2 notes I'm going to play to connect me to the C chord that's next, and that is 3rd fret, 4th string, open, and then the C chord. Okay, that's the first half of the intro. Again. And this time, there are those connecting notes from C to G. And once we've played that intro, we're ready to start singing. Let's play that intro slowly one more time. Okay, with the guitar, verse play is virtually the same. We're going to go through that same progression twice along with vocals. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Well, I guess that's our playthrough. It's so simple that we can just rewind that and practice it a few times. But that's the same progression that we used for the intro, and just concentrating a little bit more on vocal and accompaniment here. So we've got G, E minor, C, G, D, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, C. Let's move on to the chorus. All right, here's the chorus progression, and the chorus is sung and played only once after the first verse. Begins with E minor, C, G, hold the G, G, D, C, with a little connector. So again. with vocals. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. All right, let's try something here. The next verse features a double chorus after the delivery of the verse. It's amped up a little bit in terms of intensity, particularly the second chorus going into the guitar solo. It's really picked up in the studio version here, and we can pick up the intensity as well when we play it solo on acoustic. But I want to show you that little transition that's played twice. There's just two different keyboard bits that are played. The first one is pretty straight, and the second one's lends itself well to more of a picking style on guitar. But basically they're this. They're... Okay, so we're going from... those connectors we talked about earlier. C, down to G, D, C, G. And then the second time through, I'm going to suggest something a little more picky, like a... And that'll just sort of recreate that kind of... it's almost a, I think it's the mellotron, that instrument they had at Abbey Road Studio there, that plays the second keyboard line, taking us into the guitar solo. So watch for that, because that's what we're going to do. We'll do a playthrough of the second verse, double chorus, and then we'll do those two lines and stop there. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. All right, well, just as kind of a little bonus here today, I thought I'd include the electric guitar solo. This is from the album version, which is, in my opinion, a much cooler guitar solo than the single version. Really nicely crafted by George Harrison. And I'm going to teach you this in the original key of C. I know we learned it in G sharp, but we did that for the purposes of singing. But for guitar playing here, I'm going to show you the guitar solo in the original key, and you can make moves to adapt it if you choose to later. We're going to learn it in two parts, two manageable chunks, and the first half of the guitar solo sounds something like this. Let's break down that first half. We're going to start by barring the 4th and 3rd strings at the 5th fret. And we're going to hammer up with our 3rd finger onto the 7th fret of the 4th string. You want to make sure you pick both strings. That's the first little move. And from there we kind of do a little rundown. So we're going from the 5th fret of the 4th string. 5, 7, 5, slide down to 3. 5, Okay, and then we want to climb back up. So he does this. On 3 of the 5th string. And that's 5 and 7, and 5 on 4. Next comes the bend. So we're using 5 and 7 again on strings 4 and 3. And the full bend is on 7 of 3. And there's kind of a little extra, like kind of a little double bend before he settles down and lands on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So to put that whole first bit together, okay, so the second half of the first half of the guitar solo, he does another bend, but the first thing he does is slide up here, and then back down to here. So he slides up, 3rd finger to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and 2nd finger to the 8th fret of the 1st string. So he skips a string here. So you got to pick down on 3 and up on 1. And then slides down and plays 5 and 7 of the 3rd string. And that ends up, now you're on 7 of the 3rd string. Which is a traditional sort of rock bend. You're going to bend up on 7 and then pick on the 5th fret of the 1st string. So again. And it finishes up with, we'll track that. That's just again playing on 5, 7, and 3 of the 4th and 3rd strings. So here's that second part all together, kind of slowly. Now the whole first half of the guitar solo played at a kind of slow pace here. All right, the second half of the solo goes something like this. So let's break that down. We start here. All on 5 and 7 of the strings 4 and 3. Then we slide up. We do that 3 times. So. And the 3rd time we finish it off by going up to the 10th fret of the 2nd string. So we're sliding up to 9 on the 3rd string with our 2nd finger, 8 on the 2nd string with our 1st finger. And then finally finishing with our 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, so we're at the 10th fret, and we're going to go back down to 8 here. And that's all just a little bend on 8 and 10 of strings 2 and 1. And finish on the 8th fret of the 1st string. Then the last bit, he goes all the way up to the 15th fret of the first string. Does a full bend, which just kind of stops, and it's a little bit the only unusual part of the guitar solo. It just kind of goes up here as a statement kind of bend, and then he finishes up here on the 15th fret of the second string. That little bit, bend on 15, go down to 13, back to 15. That's all just bending between 15 and 13. And that's where it ends. So really slowly, the whole second half of the solo. All right, here's the entire guitar solo from start to finish. All right, fine tuning for Let It Be. Well, I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and I hope you agree that Let It Be is, again, one of those songs that translates very nicely from keyboards to acoustic guitar. We had some things to focus on in this lesson, including, again, I use the word connectors a lot, but little connecting notes. And how we can blend those in. Seamlessly so that they connect the chords in a very pleasing manner. We also talked a little bit about dynamics and intensity, and you guys are starting to learn, I'm sure, when to pick up the intensity of the playing and the intensity of the singing as well. One of the greatest songs ever written. Paul McCartney and the Beatles, Let It Be. And as always, I could use your word of mouth, so if you enjoy and did enjoy what I did over these past 208 lessons, please feel free to share that. I could always use the support. I won't say goodbye, I'll just say happy trails, my friends.